Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Alola Chandra Kalasat Varamalya Vamshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Kelikala Vilasam Shyamam Tribhangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Such a beautiful description. Lord Krishna has a Shyamavarna. He plays on his flute. His eyes are like lotus petals. He has curly locks of hair. He has a peacock feather. He stands in a Tribhanga Lalitam, threefold bending form. There is one bend in the neck, one bend in the hip, and one in the leg like this. He keeps it. And then very lovingly he looks at all the Vrajabasis. He plays on the flute. So exactly the Murti form of the Lord is made like that. Krishna's Murti form is made like that in the temple. And 8 dhatus are mentioned. One of the Ashta dhatus you can make it. Sometimes all the dhatus are put together and made also. Many dhatus. So in this way you will find the deity form of the Lord is made and worshipped in the temple not before the Prana Pratishtha is performed. The Lord's eyes are closed and many mantras are chanted and every limb of the Lord's body is made to come to life. It's exactly like the birth of a child in the womb of a mother. How the child's head comes, hands come, legs come. Gradually the life symptoms start manifesting in the body of a child. Similarly, in the body of the Lord, there are many, all the different type of seeds and different type of Panchamaha Bhutas, all these things are kept and the deities are kept buried in that before the day of installation. It's a very great procedure. His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj has given a lecture on this. So one should not take the deity form of the Lord very cheaply, because when the Prana Pratishtha is done, the Lord sees with his eyes. It's called Karunya Kataksh, merciful glance with which he sees. So just like the Lord's body is made of marble or wood or something, and the floor may be made of marble. You may think both are same. No. The newspaper is also made of paper. Currency note is made of paper. Is it same? The newspaper, you read it and throw it in the raddi, in the waste. Whereas the currency note, it's also paper, but you keep it in your pocket. You know it's valuable because the government has printed currency note in one paper and newspaper in another. So although both are paper, one is valuable, one is useless. Similarly, the deity form of the Lord is authorized by Lord himself. In Uddhava Gita, Krishna tells Uddhava, my devotees make my form in these 8 dhatus and then they worship me in the temples and I accept the worship. Some people may have a question, if you are offering bhoga to Lord in a plate, does Lord really eat it? If Lord is eating it, then how is it that the plate is lying as it is, untouched? So they have a suspicion about whether the Lord is eating or not. One man asked Prabhupada in Juhu temple, Swamiji, you are offering this bhoga plate to Lord Krishna, does he really eat it? Prabhupada immediately quoted, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna says, if you offer me patram pushpam phalam toyam, I eat it. So should I believe in Krishna's words or should I believe in the words of a loafer like you? Prabhupada challenged him. So for Lord, all the senses are interchangeable. Simply by glancing at the food, it is equivalent to eating the food for him. Like for us, eating means you have to pick it up in the hand and put it in the mouth. It has to go to belly. That's our eating. But Lord, all the senses are interchangeable. From the back, he can see everything. With hand also, if he puts his hand outside window, he can see everything. Whereas we can't see with the hand. We can only see with our eyes. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti, it is said. So, how is it that the plate remains as it is? Just like if you are sending a mail to your friend, you also have a copy of the mail. And the mail also reaches your friend. Is it not? How is it the mail has reached him and you also have a copy? Similarly, Lord, you can reach the Lord and still you can have a copy of prasad so that you can also get prasadam. Otherwise, what will you eat? So, Lord has arranged like this. So, one should have a proper vision towards the deity. And stop seeing spiritual items materially. Read it.
Things connected to Lord are very, very special.
Very, very special means they are very divine. Because Lord's body is Sachidananda Swarupam. Everything is divine. Even the deity form, when you see, initially we see with Jada Buddhi. Then we see with Manomaya Buddhi. Then we see with Chinmaya Buddhi. That is the way we are able to see the deity. Jada Buddhi means you see it as a made of wood or stone. That's the way, that is actually the lowest type of vision, material vision. Then you gradually, Prabhupada writes in one of the, we will study more about it when one of the sessions is on the philosophy behind the deity. There I will explain more about these things. How to see the deity form of the Lord as spiritual. The Lord's smile is divine and transcendental. If you are reading the Shastras and pastimes of the Lord, when you go in front of the Lord and see, you will see Him as a friend or as a person. For example, say you meet one of your friends. You say, hey friend, what is this? Your body is simply flesh and bones and stool and urine and bile and mucus and sputum. That's what your body is made up of. Will you say like that? You see him as a friend, as a very important person. You don't say, even though his body is made up of material elements, you see the spirit in your friend, or in your mother or father or husband or wife. You see the spirit. Similarly, when you see the Lord in the deity form, even though it's made up of material elements, it is Lord's spiritual form visible to our material eyes. Lord has arranged it. You will learn more about it in another session. So, therefore, he says here that there are two important verses. Atat Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahyam Indriyai, he says. With our gross senses, we cannot perceive spiritual objects. But when you do render seva, Sevon Mukeh Jihvado Swayameva Svaratyadaha, he says by rendering service, your heart gets purified and vision develops. How? There was a Madan Mohan Malaviya, the Vice Chancellor of Varanasi, Banaras Hindu University. He came to meet Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur and said, I have too many questions with me. And then in the meantime, Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur introduced him to other disciples who took him inside and they gave him some deity pots to wash. So he was rendering service some half an hour, 1 hour. Then rolling up his sleeves. And they didn't know he's a Vice Chancellor. But he rendered the service. When he came out, he met Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur and said, when I washed the pots, all my questions got answered, he said. How? That is a spiritual miracle. When you clean the pots of the Lord, when you render seva, many of our queries are answered by the Lord within our own heart. Like that he got the answers. That's why it is said, render service. And our vision gradually becomes premanjana charita. Bhakti vilochanena. Your eyes become laden with love. And then you'll be able to see the person, Krishna, when you look at the deity and not see it as a doll or anything. So Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur would go to some Krishna temple and the deities would be deep inside. So devotees would tell him, he is an acharya, he'll be allowed to go inside the altar, but he won't go. From a distance only he will just close his eyes, would pray and offer some prayers and songs. He would say, whether I go and see him or not is not that important. Lord is seeing me, that is enough. So Lord is called Drashta. Drashta means the seer. In fact, his eyes are seeing us everywhere. In every atom he is standing as a super soul. So, therefore don't see spiritual items materially. Tulasi, when you see the plant, see her as a Vrinda Devi, who is the manager of the spiritual world, awarding services to the devotees. Similarly, when a Maha garland is given to us, you should know this garland is worn by Krishna. So I'll show you one verse from the Bhagavatam. I will recite this verse. Tvayopabhukta sragganda vaso lankara charchitaha uchishta bhojino dasas tava mayam jayemahi. 11.6.46. This is spoken by Uddhava. Uddhava is telling Krishna, see what he says. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, which we apply in the hand, clothes and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your Maya Shakti, he is saying.
Why do so many people accept declining vision as a sign of aging when there's a Nobel Prize winning technology?
By accepting the garland offered to Krishna, by accepting the incense offered, scent offered to Krishna, accepting the prasadam of Krishna, we conquer illusory energy or Maya Shakti, like that he says. We should see them spiritually. Because in relation to Lord, they are all called Tadiya, or Nirmalya we call it, and Tadiya. You see them. Like for example, We study about Mahabharat war. No, do we study about Battle of Panipat? Huh? Do we study any other battle? No, because in Kurukshetra battle, Krishna is standing in the battle. Therefore, we are interested because it's connected to Krishna. Otherwise, there is no use of talking about anything. So, yeah, that point. Let us now come to the perception towards devotees. Read it.
We see devotee boys as engineers or as branchmate, etc. We don't tend to see them as Vaishnavas, beings from spiritual world.
See, we have to see our fellow devotees as Vaishnavas first, and as engineers, doctors next. Because they're engineer, doctor, or particular state they belong to, particular caste they belong to, particular surname they have, these are all secondary. They are all pertaining to the material body. But you have to see the spirit soul and see them, oh, they are very dear Krishna's devotees. Then we will not offend them. Yes.
Because we see them materially, it leads to offenses. Example is tall, fair, cute, ugly, intelligent, muff, educated, etc. or material identities.
Go ahead.
We should see them as devotees of Krishna.
Because sometimes the boys, when they see them materially, sometimes they may say, hey, he's a South Indian, because of this, he is ritualistic. Or he is a Bihari, he will beat you up or something. So we should never offend like that. There are so many sweet devotees from Bihar, like His Holiness Gaur Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He's such a person of great sweet dealings. Similarly, people talk about this is called ethnic consideration. Ethnic means north, east, west, south. If we differentiate on the bodily platform, there will be quarrel, misunderstanding. Like in some colleges, they make different clubs like Tamil club, Kerala club, this club, that club. So they are able to see only in a limited way their own state people. But our Krishna consciousness teaches us to broaden our perspective. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Sarva yonishu kaunteya. Aham bija pradapita. Krishna says, I am the father of all living entities. So we should not be narrow-minded in our dealings with each other. Go ahead.
Devotees are like Vishnudutas because they have loving attraction for Krishna, tendency to serve Krishna, bringing people close to Krishna, and they see devotees different from common populace. If we appreciate Lord's spiritual nature, then devotees' spiritual nature can also be visualized.
Yeah. So, Lord is divine, Lord is spiritual. Same manner we should see the devotees as spiritual. You will see devotees are delighting in kirtan. They are dancing. They are also eating only prasadam. They are rendering service by distributing books or preaching to the people. So they are wearing dhoti, kurta, saris, they are wearing tilak, kantimala. They are not ordinary people. Prabhupada said Vishnudutas have 4 hands, devotees have 2 hands. That's the only difference. We should treat them exactly like Vishnudutas. Yamadutas were warned by Yamaraj. You should only bring those people to me who have not bowed down to Krishna once. He said, Jikvana bhakti bhagavad gunanamadheyam chetascharana smaraditacharana aravindam krishnaya no namati yacchiraye kadapi tananayadvam asato akrita vishnu krityan. One who has not rendered service to Supreme Lord, one who has not bowed down to Supreme Lord, one who has not chanted the name even once, bring those fellows to me. And then another verse he says, those who are Vaishnava devotees, wearing tilak, wearing kantimala, chanting the holy name, studying the scriptures, having faith in the Lord, if you see them, run away from them. Don't go near them, he said, because they are all like Vishnudutas, very, very special, very dear to the Lord. Don't touch them. So, if Yamadutas have to be careful with the devotees, we also have to be careful not to deal with devotees in an atrocious way. Yeah.
Among all things connected to Lord,
Lord Shiva says this one. Aradhanam hi sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. He says that, oh Devi, Parvati, amongst all the paraphernalia of the Lord, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the best worship. But better than worship of Vishnu is worshipping Lord Vishnu's devotees. Like that he is saying. Because when you worship Lord Vishnu's devotees, by treating them very warmly, then Lord Vishnu becomes very pleased. Like that he says. I can tell you a lot about these things. There's a very big subject. Because in Bhagavatam you will see Rishabhadev talks about all the lower and higher beings. Finally he says, I am beyond even Brahma and Shiva, he says. because I am the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, Shukadeva says. And I consider Brahmanas and Vaishnavas to be better than me, like that he says. Same way you will find in Lord Kapila's teachings also, different gradation of living entities. Highest living entities are Vaishnavas. So even Prithu Maharaj told the Vaishnavas that, see, I am ruling over the people, ruling over the kingdom and everything. But as far as you Vaishnavas are concerned, you know the scriptures very well. In fact, I have to seek your advice on whatever I am speaking. Is it in line with what Lord wants me to speak? Like that he asked. He was very respectful to Vaishnavas. Brahmananam sahasrebhyo satrayaji vishishyate satrayaji vishishebhyo sarva vedanta paragah sarva vedanta vidkotya Vishnu bhakto vishishyate. And then amongst the Vishnu bhaktas, Ekanta bhaktas are, Shuddha bhaktas are very rare. He says, Brahmananam sahasrebhyo. If you take 1,000 Brahmins, one who leads the yajnas is best. Among those who lead the yajnas, one who is expert in Vedanta Paraga, he is the best. And amongst the Vedanta Paragas, one who knows the meaning of the Vedanta thoroughly, and not only recitation, he is the best. And amongst the learned people in Vedanta, those who apply the Vedanta, the Vishnu Bhaktas are the best, he says. And amongst the Vishnu Bhaktas, pure devotee, Kevala Bhakta, Shuddha Bhakta, he is the best, he says. So in this way, the Bhaktas are glorified. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha Sudarlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamune. Amongst the crores of jnanis and yogis, bhaktas are rare. 1 out of crores of jnanis and yogis. It is not 1 out of crores of common people. 1 out of crores of jnanis and yogis are bhaktas. So this is a very important point for us, that don't take the devotees cheaply or lightly. The people with whom we are living may be very, very exalted people. That's the point here. See them with spiritual vision. So, rising above mundane vision and seeing with a spiritual vision, there's a beautiful verse in Padyavali.
We'll discuss later tomorrow, but we can revise now. So, some very vital points are there in this. Can remove the system. Hare Krishna, online devotees.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you're able to hear?
Yes, Prabhu, we are able to hear you.
Oh, okay. Who is Sai there, Prabhu? Sriram. Okay. Sai there, you are able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in train? You're in train?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. I mean, train also you're able to hear, so that is very nice. So, okay, bro. Yeah, so this topic is very vital. So in the beginning, what Rajam was telling? He was telling, I think, about the DT. No? Yeah. The different people perceive differently many things. He's giving the example of paper. You remember that? Paper he was telling, different paper. So the Gita, newspaper, currency, and also the donkey not able to understand the Bhagavad Gita, and the devotee can understand. So the perceptions are different. No? So depending upon our perception and consciousness, we see things accordingly. Yeah. So this point becomes very important, that actually what we see is not based upon what that object is. It's about how our perception is. Of course, there's a reality of that object also. So that's why the real outlook would be when we are actually on the spiritual platform. That's why spiritual outlook. Because the material outlook is actually because of Maya. That is not the right outlook. So because we are in Maya, because we have material outlook, we are conditioned. That's how we need to change our vision from material to spiritual. That's the point. So he first told about the DT. Can somebody say about DT? What did he say? So very good point he said. Can raise your hand and tell. Raise the hand and tell. I guess.
So deities are made of marble. But marble. But we should not consider the floor and deities are same because spiritual form of God came in form. I mean, Pran Pratishtha happened, so the God is there.
This is spiritual form, visible power, material vision. That is the Lord's mercy.
Hmm.
What else he said?
Every limb comes to life when so it's not down statue.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He was in the example of child in the womb.
Yeah.
What is
It's like child takes birth and so while doing pranayama, it's the similar process. So when ED gets
so now is involved.
involved.
In the form of deity. Okay. What else he said?
He told that our deities are exactly based on Shastra. The description given in Shastra, like the pose, that there needs to be a pendant and near the head. And
Bending.
bending, the pose of it, and like the more content, everything. Basuri. So
Threefold bending form, the basuri, everything. Okay, got that. Everything is as per the Shastra. Correct.
yeah.
Threefold is on the neck, on the hip, and then whatever the ankle. Yeah, whatever. So that is three. So exactly it is given. Pain on the yes, what else?
You mentioned that Krishna himself actually authorized his forms, like Uddhavji reported to Shloka that in the future that everyone will be making my deities or idols like conversion.
Yeah, he authorized that. And he has told
Authorized.
one should be worshipping my deity. He said. That's correct.
And more than that, we should be nice to devote.
Yeah, that will come later. So one more thing is that about when we are dealing with a friend, so then we are not seeing just his body. We understand the spirit. Same way when we are dealing with the deity, even the Lord has come in the form which is perceivable to us in some metal or something like that. But we should understand that it is spiritual form, not like we focus on the metal or this kind of stuff. So we understand the Lord present directly. That should be the understanding. Correct. So how Lord is. So should I believe in the purpose of Patra Pushpan? He said, should I believe in Krishna or should I believe in Lokapati? So Lord can eat because he is interchangeable. Sense are interchangeable, and he can eat just by seeing also. Anyway, this deity worship whole seminar will come in future again. So those points will be repeated and some more examples and elaboration will be there. So that time we understand it more. Another thing is says about how the garland, tulsi, everything you have to see in a spiritual perspective. So you can know about them, can hear from them, can ask devotees also. So can you tell me more about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Susi Maharaj, what they do, what else personalities. So then we can see them accordingly. Same for devotees also, he said something. How we should see the devotees.
See the devotees also spiritual. Like we should see Vaishnavas that they are directly from the Loka.
Yeah. Actually, you'll be amazed to know the devotees whom you are living with right now. These are devotees, they'll be in Goloka. So you may not understand that. You may think that, oh, this fellow is lazy, this fellow is crazy. So you may keep thinking all that. But the point is now, you will become crazy to see after some years that these are the people who will be taking mission of Srila Prabhupada, some of them. And all of them actually will go back to God sooner or later, either this life or next life or next life. Surely, because they have come in the divine movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, Srila Prabhupada's line. So sooner or later, they're going to be purified and go back to God. So all these things will only remain as a lila only of them. somebody becomes an acharya, then previous all things Leela. So that all things will become Leela only. So, like today I was telling about the pure devotee. It's true, because every soul is a pure devotee. Only thing is, yeah, this is not realized. But the point is that somebody has begun Krishna consciousness is the words of becoming pure devotee sooner or later. So we have to have very, Dhruv Maharaj, when he was he was offended by Suruchi. So that time he was not a devotee. Later he became a devotee and offense became such powerful. And that's how he and she and her child has to get burnt in forest fire. Just imagine. So even somebody, suppose you have offended somebody, he is not a devotee. Later he becomes a devotee. Then the hot offense will become Vaishnava. And then he will become a terrible problem. Just imagine. So that means whom you can offend? Those who those are not going to become devotee. So that you can offend. So that's why offending anyone is a dangerous thing. You understand this, no? So they are very, very vital. One should not it's called Janapra, but it becomes Vaishnavapra when he becomes a devotee. Like this. So it's very important. So we should not see this fellow as an engineer. He is a biotech. He is a civil only. Not so intelligent. So I think we should, and I am from MIT. This fellow is from NU. भेड़ है सब भेड़ की तरह भरे हो सारे
एग्जाम्पल में आप
if you're feeling insulted, that means you're in bodily conception of pride. But if you are not affected, that shows you are having a spiritual vision. Yeah, actually, if you feel bad about it, that means you have surely somewhere some kind of attachment, some identification like that. You are not from any. Are you from any? You are from Golok. What are you identifying with? Actually, we are already in hellish condition. Whatever itself is hell. It's a gutter. I know. उसमें एक any वो hell है वो. MIT another hell is. Yesterday I went and I saw one mata. She was smoking in front of MIT. We reached MIT and there was the first sight I saw. And I told, "Arey Prabhu, in MIT maybe also smoking." So Saransh Prabhu says, "Not God, Prabhu, smoking, nothing." He said, you don't need to hear what all people do. I said, okay, fine, I'll not take, I need not hear. No problem. So the point is that these are all hell actually. Once one of my seniors said that is NIT Warangal is hell. I was saying, my Lord, hell? I was like new to Krishna Consciousness. Like, how can you say like that? NIT Warangal itna mehnat karke aaya main yahan pe. Then he said, but only good thing is that we have got associated devotees here. It's a wonderful thing. So, anyway, so we should not think like that. No? Yeah, he's from MIT, something special. And this from NU, they're except I say. तो कुछ भी कोई भी कर लेता है अगर तू कह रहा सब जाता है नहीं so you understand this kind of feeling if you have no that means you have some material vision so you should not see devotees like this whether it's from NU or from Boston University or it's from MIT or it's from anywhere he is a devotee same way he is not from Maharashtra he is not from North India he is from not Punjabi not Bihari he is only a devotee yeah so and this devotee this fellow never attend Mangal this fellow he never comes for book reading. We should not see all. That is their guru's job. Guru will see that. The teachers will try to see how they can. But we should respect them. Why you should respect them? Because they have taken to Krishna consciousness. They have shown interest in Krishna. They have come to temple. They're bowing down to deities. They're accepting Krishna as Supreme Authentic Godhead. So it's very, very rare. Very, very rare. So somebody has done that means he has begun Krishna consciousness. So we have no right to offend them in mentally also. See, a teacher may sometimes correct them. No, but he doesn't offend. He has such appreciation for them. And he wants to see them more blossom. That is his job. That is his job profile. She has to do that. You getting just like a mother. Mother may have to rectify the child. Sometimes some of the Grihastha's child I would glorify. And immediately the Grihastha would, tell, Arey Prabhu, kuch nahi karta hai, aisa hai, isko thoda daati hai. I think, Arey, aisa mat bolo. He's nice only. Your child is coming from Mangal Aarati and all that. But the point is that he has a right to see the shortcomings and help the child to actually perform. You understand? So that authority is there on them. Because if he doesn't do that, the whole world will glorify. One senior devotee was telling to me. I mean, he had that, he's in the role of teacher. So he said, see, talk about the whole world will glorify, but I will correct you. And he gave a correction and then he said to me, no, I did something. I thank Munga, some correction was there. He gave a correction and he said, and then he came back to me. So we might have thought I should not feel bad. So he said, see, Rahul, about that whole world will glorify you, but I will not. Because, huh? Who?
Who will glorify?
Who will glorify? Whole world. I already told you. What did I do? I never told the name. I never told the name.
One devotee.
Who is my teacher? Who is one of my teachers? Who is one of my teachers? He was one of my teacher who is supposed to. Did you not hear this point? I said this. Not Grasta. Grasta is another story. Grasta is that absolutely different. Different. Okay, we'll go for this thing. Darshan of the deity. Because Muktan wants us to meet that. Immediately we should come. Haribol, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Tomorrow